standing room on a Saturday morning to talk about plastics. That's impressive. The extra chairs coming in. Louder? Okay. I'm going to give a little bit of this talk about markets in general throughout Montana. We're located in Bozeman. We do recycling for 9 counties in Yellowstone National Park. And we've been dealing with the market changes. I'm going to jump through it, and when we get to the Q&A, happy to dig into a bunch of the other items. So at our facility, the steel and aluminum mixture, cardboard, plastic, office paper, newspaper. The only commodities on there that pay for their processing in the current market state is the steel and aluminum and the office paper. All the rest of the commodities in the glut of the market right now cost more to go ahead and inputs to get them ready to ship to market than what their value is right now. Once again, with Dusty's standardization is that, you know, there's a number 11 cardboard, there's a number 12 cardboard. Pure cardboard boxes, the number 12 are the only thing you can ship into the Asian market right now. So if you have your 6-pack holders in there, your cereal boxes on that, that becomes an 11 grade product and can only be sold here in the United States in few small countries. Newspaper, since the, as I call it, the grand correction of 2008, we've watched the volume in newspaper and our recycling bins drop in half. In the last 2 years alone, we've seen a 20% drop in magazines and newspapers coming through the system. Office paper, this is one of the few things that's still in positive territory with it, and this is a good example of innovation from Dusty's side, is that we used to have white ledger paper, computer paper, newspaper. The office paper has adjusted and it has continued to go ahead and move nicely within the market. And the plastics. For years, we've done 1 through 7 plastic collection, and that was when the drive was to get as much of it out of the system it could. And the value of the number 1 and 2 plastics would go ahead and carry that processing, so that in the classic domestic stream, we refer to it as a 442, is 40% of the plastics that are coming out of your homes is number 1, 40% is number 2, and the other 20% is the 3 through 7s. About 3 or 4 years ago, we had to drop down to just 1 and 2s again, and trying to pull the 3 through 7s back out of the system. It doesn't happen. We still have to sell our whole package together. So when you put those 3 through 7s in it, we've had some audits as low as 12% on them. We've had some of them as high as 23%. Essentially, those 3 through 7s, you're giving a 600-mile road trip to, and putting additional inputs into for them to then go to a waste-to-energy facility. There are no solid uses for the 3 through 7s other than to be reused on the energy front. While the number 1 and 2 plastics have had solid markets and they continue to grow with it, what you end up doing is the cost of baling the 1 and 2 plastics with those 3 through 7s in it costs $150 a ton to do it. You're going ahead and losing $120 a ton on the 3 through 7s of all the handling it takes to it. So when you have a $300 product of number 1 plastic and number 2, and you've put the wishful recycling of putting the 3 through 7s in there, you've all of a sudden made that whole component for the recycler in the system to be a zero gain on the economics. You're eating up all the costs of baling it and shipping it by putting in those extra items that you want to go ahead and have recycled. Aluminum and steel still keeps the doors open. The Wilma, I just learned last night down in Missoula, is one of the latest people I've heard that have dropped all plastic bottles, and now if you want to get a water at the Wilma, it's coming in an aluminum can. We've watched about a 15% increase in the aluminum collection in our drop-off sites as plastic continues to go down by about 4% last year. And it's because of the canned beers. More and more people are drinking their microbrews out of cans than bottles these days, and so that's just actually seeing an increase. The big picture is that at each one of these steps in it, it costs money to get it to the different facilities. You know, we ship all over the country, and I also applaud, as Dusty said, is the pullback in the Asian market as far as purchasing. Is the Beijing Olympics was a very embarrassment for China of how their air quality was. So that this pushback that's created a huge bottleneck in the challenges and come right out of our pocketbooks. And it is directly them saying they want a clean environment too. So cleaning up our system and getting the stuff actually through the system that can be recycled and not adding cost to the facility is the direction we need to be headed. We all talk about this in the afternoon section. You know, the city of Bozeman has put in a dual stream system that we collect. They bring in, we bail off, that gets shipped off. That currently at market prices right now is costing $220 a ton to bale it and ship it to market, when that same material could be put in the ground for $27 a ton in our valley. The residents are paying the fee, they want to see it done. It's expensive, there's no doubt about doing it. And in a single stream program, roughly 20 to 30% of the items in there get cross-contaminated in the system and end up in a waste energy system. Our collection sites, as far as the drop-off bins, last year we had 0.2% of the total volume that came through it by weight that ended up as garbage coming through on the single stream, or on the source separated. The MRFs, we could talk about these all day. But this is one of the slides I'd like to go ahead and show people, is that when you throw your plastic bags into a recycling system, it essentially ties up the entire MRF. Most of the MRFs now are taking 1 day a week that they have one entire shift that all they do is clean the wheels from the plastic bags and ties go through it so that the machines will continue to operate. The green fence was China's first attempt to go ahead and say we need it cleaner, and everybody kind of looked the other way. And now with the sword, we've gone ahead and seen 70% of the recycling that was produced on the West Coast now is being used in domestic mills. This is a good thing, while very painful thing, is that while being more expensive to do it, we have control over the quality that goes through it. The fact that it's happened so quick is difficult, but there's more than double the capacity of making cardboard coming online between Utah, Washington, and Oregon, and southern British Columbia that'll all be online in the next 3 years. So there is hope for commodities coming back in price. It's just going to take time. And a few of the solutions is that, well, nobody likes to think of their recycling going to a waste-to-energy facility. It actually, there's a ton of energy in it, and done right with it, there's a lot of very innovations coming on that end that it goes, but it is the lowest form of recycling. Well, just classic challenges there. You know, the aluminum beverage cans, we're seeing those all through the system with it. As Alice mentioned earlier, is in the little town of Eureka now, they used to have one UPS truck come in per day into town. There's now 4 that are coming in on a regular basis, and that's used to be what happened during the Christmas season. And so that blender that you're ordering now comes to town, instead of 20 blenders in one box, is now coming in 20 boxes. So the need for cardboard will be increasing. Many of you probably know of the Barron glass recycling program, the microbrews that he rewashes them and does it for several of the brands. We ship our glass down to Momentum Recycling down in Utah. We've finally got that streamlined down that we can just crush it with a loader, put it in an end-up trailer, and ship it down there. And in his system out there, he's doubled the population area that he draws glass from, and the amount of glass hasn't increased, and that's a direct effect of the canned beer of it. So there is desire for it, but once again, it's just expensive. And the positives is that, you know, that there is momentum, and the fact that this room is filled right now is wonderful. In the future, more financial support, whether it's coming from the county governments, the willing to go ahead and pay more to have your trash collected, to go ahead and have the programs of it. And in Europe, they're very much standardized packaging. We do a ton of marketing, and the whole recycling industry to some extent is based on the marketing of it. And if we go ahead and say that we don't want to have 10 different liners and things, we can go ahead and eliminate it down to a point that we can get volumes together to make sense in the marketplace. And it will be a slow recovery. So happy I could stand up here and bore you to death all day or talk for 3 hours. So when it comes to Q&A, we're happy to talk about it.